Always fun, crazy. It's painful, but it's wonderful. What is the name?
It's Royce Unchained.
Patrick, how about those Vikings going into Seattle where they hadn't won since 2006 and coming away with a comeback win when they blew the game?
How many times did they have they been out there? The one they won there, but the one they won there was 06. Is that when the running back made the 90-yard run
Chester
and
Taylor
won the game? Chester Taylor, right?
That's exactly right.
I was there for that one, and they were certainly longer shots to win that game than they were yesterday. And Chester popped that one off, and that Seattle crowd was stunned. I remember.
And that's the one where Steve Hutchinson went back to Seattle.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Not well liked at that point in Seattle.
Hell of a player, though. Oh, anyway, one of the great signings in Viking history, that was for sure. And that was Chili. Chili did that, right? Chili brought him in.
Poison pill, too.
We don't. Oh, that's right. Did the NFL then kind of try to do something about that to prevent the poison pill?
They got very pissed off. Yes, they were not happy.
Well, that throw of Darnold's for the winning TD with the pressure he was facing, I'm putting it top 5 all-time Viking throws. I think it was fantastic. What a great throw! It was a great throw. I thought he played really good yesterday. I think they were fortunate that Geno Smith was playing on one leg because he couldn't get out of the pocket. So, that's because Seattle has to win. You don't really have to win. So that was a dang good victory. There's no doubt about it. It's amazing that we got all these defensive guys now. Nobody can tell me that they knew that Van Winkle and Van whatever he is and Winkle and Grenard were going to be this good. Nobody can tell me they knew that when they let Hunter go. But what a move that was. You end up, and now here comes the kid too. He's going to be fantastic.
Yeah,
Dallas Turner.
Yeah, he'll be great.
He's going to. I mean, he drops into coverage and makes the interception. He is an athlete, and how they got him in the first round is how many spots they move up? 8 or 9, right? 6 spots. I just can't imagine why teams let that guy fall like that. Was he about the second defensive guy taken, right? Nobody was getting taken.
Second or third. And again, the Falcons, a lot of people thought the Falcons at 8 would take him.
Yes.
And they took Penix Jr.
from Alabama, and they took Penix Jr., and the rest is history. He wasn't that good yesterday, right? Penix Jr., but he just, the other team, 2 pick sixes or something?
Well, they played the Giants.
Yeah, it doesn't count. That's a good. If you're going to change quarterbacks, that's a good time to do it. But now they're tied for first again, right?
Yeah, because the Bucs
possibility.
lost.
There's a possibility if the Vikings can't beat the Lions when they play the rematch, that they're going to end up playing in Atlanta for the first playoff game. And
I would take that in a heartbeat.
Oh God, yes. I would think that won't be. Wasn't the thought that Atlanta had this, their big problem was getting some defensive pass rush, and they didn't take Turner. But I don't know. I still kind of like Tampa to win that division. But they got the tiebreaker too, right? Atlanta's beat them twice already.
Yes.
Or just so
twice.
Anyway, I'd rather play Atlanta than Tampa, I think. But I just soon. That would be a great build-up for a game with Tampa, though. Baker Mayfield against Darnold, the two guys that, the first and third pick in the draft and let go for no reason. I still can't figure out why Cleveland pulled the plug on Mayfield so quickly. Can you? Especially to bring in this guy,
Yeah.
I mean, I was a big fan of Deshaun Watson coming out of and I didn't know what a bad guy he was. But still, you got Mayfield. Mm-hmm. You haven't really given him a full chance, and you're going to pay $230 million, is it, for this guy? Something like that?
And I don't know how this is going to work. I mean, he's unplayable at times.
And they're going to – whatever they're going to do, they're going to try to do the same thing with him that Atlanta's doing, right? But I don't know at what point they can get rid of Watson and not have to pay at all. I don't have any idea what his contract is. Supposedly, what's the deal? They got to pay Cousins next year. Mm-hmm. They got to pay him, but if they release him before the draft, whenever you release him next year, before March 1st, is it, or when? Well, I don't know when it is. But if you release him, then you don't owe him the $10 million for 26, right?
Yeah, it's still a terrible hit, but yes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You can also post June 1st, date it, and spread out the hits over 2 years instead of one.
Really?
Do you think Cleveland would part ways with Deshaun, which again would be a devastating cap hit, but then sign Kirk for $12 because Atlanta's on the hook, and get Kirk back with Stefanski in Cleveland?
I brought that up with somebody already. That wouldn't surprise me at all because they got to get out from under Deshaun, and they don't have a quarterback, right? They don't have anybody else, right? I don't know who's playing for him, but who's been playing for him without Watson?
Jameis got benched.
Oh, Jameis
Dorian
got benched.
Thompson Robinson played yesterday, but he's not a starter in this league. He can't start.
Yeah, I can see that, right?
Yeah.
Cleveland, he can come in and BS them. And, the other thing I can see is our guy leaves, then Daniel Jones leaves, and our veteran mentor for the J.J. McCarthy, bring back Kirk.
No. Phil talked about no. You can't let him back in your building.
No, you can't. No, not that he's proven to be. He's been bitter with Atlanta ever since they drafted Penix, and I can't stand the guy, but I don't blame him for being upset with that. Right? You just signed there for. This is where I want to retire.
Yeah.
And they draft a quarterback, so I can't blame him for being upset about
the greatest football karma move of all time, though.
Oh, God, yes. Well, what's funny is, 5 weeks ago, was it, he threw for 5 touchdowns and everybody was 500 yards and everybody was going crazy? Yeah. And then what happens? I don't know. But yesterday's performance was very impressive, considering that Seattle had to win and you didn't have to win. You wanted to win, but you didn't have to win.
And came on the heels of your Saturday column, which, by the way, I think is one of the most shocking Royce-penned columns of my lifetime.
And people are thinking I'm just doing that to agitate, but no, there's nothing. They haven't done anything wrong.
You've been saying it all year long.
Yes.
Like this is not new.
No, I didn't expect them. I didn't expect 13-2, okay?
Yeah.
This is the most surprising season the Vikings had 64 of them. This is the most surprising season ever. This the surprisingly successful season ever. Because the other times they've been really good with records like this. We knew they were good. Maybe we didn't know they were as good as they turned out to be. But even in '69, their first Super Bowl year, they had made the playoffs. You got to remember back then too. Only 8 teams went to the playoffs back then. So, and they were they'd gone to the playoffs, got beat by Baltimore, but once you knew you had this great defense. So nobody had any idea they had this many. They've got defensive players now that I never heard of that are intercepting passes. And
Theo Jackson.
Who is he? Is he a draft choice? Is he a free agent?
He's a guy that 2 years ago they signed off the Titans practice squad.
Wow.
And he's good. Look, their pro personnel department has done some great work. And I'm sure Flores likes has some type of say, but they've done a great job.
Well, this linebacker-y type of guy, they just took off the Packers squad, right? Davis or something. Yep. He's playing a little bit too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're playing everybody.
Defensively, it's incredible. I'm half the time I'm sitting there watching, who the hell's that guy?
Yeah.
So Anyway, it's I can't. I almost think the Packers game is a tougher game than the Lions, though. I think the Packers are better now. The Packers are better now than the Lions. But what time we kick it off? Still noon?
No, looks like it's been moved. 3:25.
They flexed her? I didn't think you could flex after a certain time.
No, a network can flex a game that it has from noon to 3.
Anytime it wants to on Monday?
Within 6 days, I believe.
Oh, man.
So they had till
flex.
Tuesday. But the flex rules on taking a game off like Fox and sticking it on NBC for a Sunday night.
Okay, that you got to do that 12 days or something.
Yeah, but
like
we're
that.
not going to know. Here's the catch: the Week 18 games, we're not going to know till Sunday night. So we still don't know if the Vikings are going to play on Saturday or Sunday, and we don't know at what time.
Who's
Detroit.
supposed to? What is supposed to be the Sunday night game?
Every
Does
game's
anybody know?
TBD. They don't assign them.
Oh, really? For the last week, huh?
Yeah, I think
Well,
it'll be.
if the Vikings and the Lions will be their featured attraction if they're both 14-2.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing to avoid that. So,
Absolutely.
which means the nice little 8:25 kickoff in Detroit, right?
Yep. Which means my Star
means
Tribune when it hits my front lawn on Monday, I'll be lucky to get a picture.
You'll have a great big photo saying it wasn't done in time, but we really. You think we'll hold? I don't think we have the holds anymore. I don't think we hold for anything.
No.
We gotta. You gotta hold for this game, don't you? Or you never.
No,
gonna
they won't hold. No, just
No.
go online.
Yeah, that's what they want you to do, I guess. I don't know. Although, we gotta. I shouldn't talk about this, but we gotta change. If I just go on my phone and I don't get the copy of the page, I just get
The
you
website.
know, the Vikings might have played. The lead story might be the frost because it was the last thing filed.
Yep.
What
I
the
inquired about that.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know.
What is wrong with you? Somehow, importance has got to be
Yes.
the first thing you run into.
Move the stories around.
Yes.
I've had Wolves games on the West Coast that are at the bottom of the website, and it's all I'm looking for.
Yes. I don't get it. I
think it's an importing
Yes.
I think it's an importing thing that they need to write a program so the humans can move stuff up to
Yes.
the very top.
Yeah, well, I think unfortunately, I think they're trying to get as many non-humans as they possibly can. There's got to be some AI guy there, some AI presence that can tell you what's most important. But
Or just have the last thing filed go to the very top.
yeah, but
I think it goes new to old.
That's
Or
what
old
I'm
to new,
complaining. That's what I'm complaining about, though. Is sometimes I will log on an hour after a Viking game's over or something, and the Vikings aren't here. They're already down here, the fifth, because the frost cut some player that we never heard of. So anyway, hey, good luck to you, Star Tribune. But we got issues. I
just want my hard copy at my doorstep and not in my front lawn sitting in the snow. That's all I ask for.
Oh, did you have that one of those? I got to stay up tonight to wait for the paper to be delivered at 3 a.m. so I can go hand the person $20 for the fine job she's done.
I got two. I got the weekend and the weekday carrier both put in, hey, it's that time of year
It's
again.
me. Yeah.
If my paper is on my doorstep where I can open up the door and pick it up, I'll give you $20.
But
when
I
you're
got to
tossing it
see
from the
you.
car, you're not
What am
getting $20.
What am I supposed to do? Put it in the card? I don't know. I'll just.
I'm not tipping until I get the paper where I want it.
No. Well, I tell you what, my weekday, whoever it is, I think it's a young lady that I've seen there in the past because I'm an insomniac at times. And I was able to find her last year. I think I still have the same gal, and I was able to give her 20 last year. I'd like to be able to give her 20, but I don't want to put it in a card. I don't know.
Well,
who's somebody could be coming and stealing those. I don't know. What do you? Yes.
absolutely.
Anyway, that takes care of that. So, what is this a live hockey game here? No. UND and UMD, they're not playing.
I don't think so.
That's got to be something left over. Say, I shouldn't get this right now. This certainly isn't the second most important thing or the most important basketball. But I think there's a distinct possibility that the featured men's basketball team here at Score North is better than the Gophers. St. Thomas. See what they did to Bowling Green? They beat them by like 35 or something. Beat them
No, but I'm
bloody
sure
the
you're
whole
right.
game on the road.
Yep.
Yeah, they can make shots. So they're having a hell of a year. They're much higher rated than they're in the top 100 in net ratings, which our guys aren't. That's for sure.
Is Ben done, Johnson?
I gotta think so. I don't know, but I mean, I don't think you do yourself any favors by playing that schedule they played at home here, and there's 3,200 people in the stands, and that to me, that's going to get him fired more than anything. Not having anybody at the games, don't you think?
Yeah. But I mean, they're just.
That doesn't mean there's an answer, unless you got somebody with $10 million that wants to say
Right.
we want to win, and you don't have that.
Right.
Yeah, there's not the basketball boosters from the days of yore. I don't know if there are any of them out there. Now you look at the crowd. I was only at one game. The crowd I was the average age of the customers. It was incredible. You got leftover people from the muscle here, but you got the guts to still be charging them. The season ticket holders are still paying the Norwood Teague tax, right? How can you do that? How can you have the guts to do that? And that's why regular season. That's why when you go to buy tickets, it's terrible too, because they're charging based on the prices they're charging the season ticket holders, and it's completely screwed up over there. Although there was one person that Ben had a tougher schedule than. Dawn.
Yeah,
Dawn's schedule.
What
Dawn's
the hell is
schedule,
that?
342 out of 362.
What? Why?
I don't know.
I mean, that program's not.
I will say they played Houston and Oregon State, and both those teams turned out to be terrible. I don't think when she scheduled those two.
But the home schedule is, it's brutal.
Brutal. Oh, it is. It is brutal, and I don't know. I talked to her. I got my 15 minutes on the phone with her. It was tough, man. I can see her. I can see Dawn and I are never going to be tight. I don't think. My irreverent attitude didn't go over very well with her. So.
There will not be a follow-up Dawn column.
I don't think that's it. It won't be as much fun as even if I was thinking about this. Even if they succeed, there's no way it could be as much fun as 04 with Whalen and McCarville and that crew, because you had full access and you sat outside and BS'd with them, and they told you about McCarville playing heading to the casino as soon as practice was over, and all this wonderful stuff.
Yep.
I don't think we're getting that. We're with Dawn, from what I understand, you can. There's no sense in requesting players. She brings the two she wants to bring, and that's it.
Really?
For the 15-minute interview. Well, for instance, the Stewart gal, who was a transfer from Nebraska when they were going to go play Nebraska, no chance, I heard. No chance to get her for an interview.
That's not a good way to get publicity right there.
No. Well, anyway, that's the deal. So I suppose we should disembowel the Timberwolves here pretty soon, huh?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I saw this from Jace, and if somebody else might have it out there too, but I saw this from Jace on Twitter, how their usage of Naz Reid in in clutch time is half what it was when Cat was here. What is that?
No
But
idea.
I don't get it. I mean, not only has Randall been a mediocrity, but he screwed up Nas. Nas can't make a shot. Nas can't get his minutes. And what do you think the motive is for letting Randall do what he does? What do you think the motive is? They're trying to trade him, you think?
Are they trying to trade him? Are they trying to justify trading for him? I have no idea. But I'll say this: I would trade him as soon as possible now, because I don't think he has any interest in doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I think they knew. Well, I said, thing about Cat is he only needed the ball 5% of the time. You'd throw it to him. He'd either shoot the trailing three or he'd run over somebody going to the basket, but he didn't hold it and hold it and hold it.
Correct.
And then dribble it into traffic. And so it's because of him, Randall, you're playing a completely different brand of basketball than you did. And I think Ant's getting ready to say that. But he's gotten there, but he's still trying to not hang out Randall out to dry.
He did that a little bit after the Knicks game, where he basically said, "I've got some thoughts, but I probably shouldn't share them." But then made it very clear it's not the coach's fault. Mm-hmm. So yes, he's definitely closer and closer to that.
Well, for the first month, was it the first month? 3 weeks, he was great shooting the three. He's got to be shooting twos and threes under 40% the last month. When's the last time he had a real good shooting game?
Yeah, I don't even know.
I said this on Twitter, Terry Kunze's my basketball guy, So I'm talking to him a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, not couple years ago. And then I've talked to him again since, but a couple of years ago, he said exactly what I felt at the time about Ant. Liked everything about his game, but every time he shot a jump shot, I thought he was going to miss, and so did Kunze. And now, I put this on Twitter, you feel that way about the whole team. They can't shoot.
Yep.
And apparently, you weren't there the other night, were you, when Finchie was very testy?
For the Golden State?
After the game?
No.
Were you there? Yeah.
No.
Apparently, he was as testy as he's been. And he said something about Ant taking hero shots or something. Was that Ant he was talking about?
I don't know.
I
was there for the Knicks game and the post game for that, but I was not at the Golden State game on Saturday. The Knicks game was all awful.
It was awful, but the Knicks were great that night. I mean, what the hell are you going to do? Cat couldn't miss a shot, and he was fired up. And I thought the Golden State one was – Golden State came in here having lost by 51 to Memphis.
What did the Wolves have? 15 points in the first quarter?
Yeah.
Or into the second quarter of that game?
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. I don't know. I wonder I haven't seen a good interview with Connolly. Has anybody done one? I haven't seen anything.
He's talked a lot post game, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's he saying?
Well,
not Michael Connell. Not the guard. I mean the GM.
Oh, no. The Pobo, he barely talks. No.
Yeah. He
rarely talks. Just occasionally.
That's what I'm saying. But
I got you. Okay.
Right now, he should be on an off day. He should be sitting next to Finchie up there at the table, trying to find what the hell is going on here. Why does Finchie get stuck having to answer any question?
Is Julius playing so much because of Finch and Conley? Just because of Finch? Just because of Conley?
That's the question.
The thing too is Dillingham. You traded up and drafted him 8th, and they do not let him, for the most part, get off the bench because they don't trust him. He gets he plays occasionally, but you don't have a backup point guard.
No.
And DiVincenzo ain't it.
My Christopher Ricey, who's boycotting him, he can't stand to watch him anymore. We were talking about that, and he said, They did all this stuff, and their number one need was a backup point guard to go with Connolly, and they never addressed it.
Nope.
Because Nikhil is not a point guard.
Nope.
But Dillingham, have been saying, okay, let's see him a little bit. But then the other night in the, which was the game that they had a chance to win? Was it the next game? It wasn't the next game because they had no chance. So was it before that? He was terrible. He had no idea what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
And they only played him 4 minutes or 6 minutes or something.
Yep.
Here's the deal, though. This Minot might be a shooter. You don't have any shooters. Hell, let poor old Joe Ingles play 12 minutes. You brought him in here
He's
to
been
see if
hurt
he
for
could
like
shoot.
3 weeks, very
Is he-
conveniently.
Is he still hurt? Is that
Well,
what they're
he's
saying?
listed, yeah, it's like a foot or something. I don't know what the hell's wrong.
But they can't shoot. I mean,
Yep.
it's well, I don't know. I think they're trying to trade him, but what's his contract situation? He's not a free agent, is he? He's got one more year.
Who's
Randall?
that?
Randall?
He's got a player option at the end of the season.
Oh, well, he'll take it.
Well, that's
Don't
what
you
I'm
think
saying.
he'll
That's
take
why
it?
I think you have to trade him.
Yeah. Now the other thing is, maybe they're trying to get him enough points so he thinks he got a market, so he'll not pick up the player option and go hit the free agent market. And then he just get him.
I mean, it's been such a bad fit, though. I just don't know. If you keep him all year,
You keep watching him
What
play.
happens?
I don't know. You keep watching him play. You don't make the playoffs probably, or you do.
Right.
You make your number. You're playing a. You'll have to win 2 play-in games or something. I was writing about a while back, early, I guess, about 2004, and then the next year was a disaster, and Flip got fired, and I said, at least we know there's no way that's going to happen again. That team won 44 games.
yeah,
This team's not going to win 44 games. Now, you don't have to win that many to get into the whatever, this glorified, idiotic play-in situation they have. But they have, right now, here's the deal, y'all. It's going to take 20 games to figure it out. Well, what is it now, 30? What is it? Well, how many they played?
around.
They're, yeah, and they're no closer to a solution than they
No.
were before. So
And every time it feels like it's been fixed, something goes wrong.
yeah, well, they had the winning streak. They played great defense, and then they give up 133 to the Knicks, and she don't look too good. But you look now like Memphis. Memphis, no Ja last year. They were bad, right? They were bad. They're good. They're the second best in the West right now.
Yep.
Now, some of those teams, Sacramento's fallen off the cliff because people have been hurt and stuff like that. But, who you better than? The 5, maybe 4 or 5 bottom feeders, and that's it. I don't know. But now the fans are they going to keep coming out? Are they going to get disgruntled here pretty soon? They've been figuring out a way to announce sellouts.
Yeah, I think
And then,
that all depends on what the advanced ticket sales are, because I think
they
if
did
you're-
sell more season tickets, but that's
Yeah.
still only about 10.
But I
total,
mean, the
maybe.
walk-ups are going to go away. I mean, this isn't the problem too with Pat is this is no fun to watch.
No, that's terrible. Yeah, it is. No fun to watch. Even, 2 years ago was when they didn't accomplish anything, but 2 years ago was much more fun to watch. And
Yes.
this is everybody wants to blame Finch, but I don't blame him because I think he showed he can coach, right?
Yeah, I
But
would
he-
fire him.
He can't coach this match. No.
Yeah.
Didn't they give him I think he got 4 years, too.
Yeah,
doesn't
he got an extension right after last season, didn't he?
Because if you fire him, if Connolly fires him, then he's trying to take himself off the hook. I don't think he's that kind of guy. I don't know him well enough, but I don't think he's that kind of guy.
I don't think that's
he
the
put the
move.
blame on the coach. They just can't say that the reason they got him was to get out. They had to take him to make the Cat deal, and they had to get out from under Cat long term, right? So,
Right. And the key player was DiVincenzo.
Yes, which I don't know what's the hell's going on.
But he can't
there.
handle the ball. Like
No,
to your point,
but he
catch and
should be a
shoot.
catch and shoot guy. But they don't have the Michael Connolly looks old and.
He's cooked. They need to get a
But
point guard.
Ant made a great point about how because nobody can shoot, he can't get to the basket because they're
Yes.
just jamming up the.
Yes, he
Like,
can. Yes.
Why would you spread out defensively with this collection shooting the ball? I don't know.
He wouldn't.
It doesn't work.
And also, Pat, when Gobert is not included offensively, he pouts defensively. So that gets work. Like it's just what they're trying from a chemistry standpoint ain't really working.
What about a blockbuster? Randall and McDaniels for somebody who can shoot and play. Because McDaniels, though, he's making what, 180 or
First year of the contract, right? First
Yeah.
or second year.
So, I mean, it's nice that he can guard somebody, but I don't know. In modern NBA, where you want to average 115 points a game, he ain't going to get you there. So, I don't know. It is as we always say with the Wolves. It was fun while it lasted,
It is
and it
incredible.
didn't last very damn long.
It is incredible.
Meanwhile, your hockey team.
They're struggling.
About the Flower made that fantastic save in that last time they won a game, and we were all praising the Flower, and since then he's been terrible, right? And is Wallstead not a player yet? Is never going to be a
Well,
player
he started
yet?
against the Jets, and they didn't show up.
Yes.
The real loss was to Utah on Friday. That's
Yes.
the game Flower started that they had to win, and they didn't win that one. And now
that was only 2-1, though, right?
Yeah,
Utah, 2-1.
He was fine. The issue though with the entire thing is this: since Eriksson Ek went out 9
Yes.
games ago, and Gus has been out, and I mean they've lost some players. Everybody does.
Yes.
But like Boldy's disappeared. I
Yeah.
think he has 1 goal in 9 games. You know, you can't have that. 1 goal in 9 games.
It's he goes in and out of the doghouse too with the coaches, right?
Yeah, and I thought he was past that point, but he's not.
They get mad at him for taking dumb penalties, right?
Yes. But
He
he
had like
takes dumb penalties because he doesn't move his feet, and then he reaches, right? And he hooks guys or he slashes them and gets a penalty for that. But Eriksson Ek being out shouldn't look like the 84 Oilers are missing Gretzky.
he's their second best player though.
He's a hell of a
Isn't he?
player.
Yeah, he's a great player.
But you got guys that Ryan Hartman hasn't scored since mid-November.
Yeah, he's what line's he on now? Is he on the fourth or the third, or
Well,
where we got him buried?
he was the second line center until 2 games ago when he was demoted to third line right wing.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
Goudreau is the second line center
Really?
or has been, and he's got no business being a top 6 guy.
No, he probably knows that too,
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
right? He's been okay for what he's supposed to be, right? He's been he got.
Oh yeah, he's
he's
had a nice year for what he's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. But he sure ain't supposed to be a top 6 center.
So I suppose you're going to be completely focused on the World Junior here for the next couple of weeks. Now, when do they kick off? The 28th?
Day after Christmas, 26th.
Oh, really? Okay.
And we're 1 year from it being here.
I know it. And it's what's it take? 10, 11 days?
Yeah,
How
it takes
long
a
does it
couple
last?
weeks. About a couple weeks.
Now, when it's here, we're going to go around the state for some of those games, though, too, right?
We're going to go around the state for some of the, I think, exhibition pre-tournament
Oh,
games.
not
but
any of the tournament games.
I think
though,
all
huh?
the tournament games are going to be split between the X and Mariucci.
Mariucci, huh? So do they put like the loser bracket games at Mariucci or something like that?
They'll probably put some preliminary round games there.
Does this mean our boys won't be home for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
At least on the
Yeah.
schedule next year,
Yeah,
because
they're
they probably have to do signage. They probably have to do all this
They won't.
fancy stuff.
I don't
too.
think they'll be home. I think they'll
Won't be
on
home
2 weeks.
from Christmas to
Yes.
middle of January or something. Huh?
Yes.
Of course, they do that every once in a while. All of a sudden they got a 7-game road trip. All right.
Oh, yeah.
What was the road trip that they went 7 games. They went 5-0 and 5-1-1 or something. Yeah, we lost once on it.
Correct. Got off to a great
You know
start.
what, though? I looked today. They're still like third in the West in the standings.
Oh, yeah.
They're 20-10 in official wins and losses, right?
Yep. They created a lot of room.
And they got four. They got 4 of the free points too. I think they're 20-10-4 or something like that.
Now, be forewarned, Patrick. The World Juniors might sound quaint, but the ticket prices are very high.
Really? Do you get to see a doubleheader or is it a single game?
I think you do get a double. I think you do get two games. It says here all in the lower level sections at both the X and Mariucci will be offered ticket price ranges from $1,499 to $2,499 per seat plus taxes and fees.
This is for the whole tournament.
Yes, it's a season ticket for the 2-week tournament.
Okay. So
$2,500 is a lot.
Most local people are going to wait for the game of the daily ticket.
Yes, the single game tickets will probably, and my guess is if you're going to Finland, Sweden, you can get a pretty good price ticket.
Yeah. I wonder are we in on it? I mean, I know a lot of hockey people are in on it, but do the Wild fans give a damn? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see.
I think local fans will.
But they've had it other places where it was a disaster, and then in Canada, it's great, right?
It does great. Yeah, Buffalo had it, and I think it did okay. The problem is though, the prices are so expensive. It's sticker shock.
Why are they doing that?
Because I think they can.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
everything is. I'll tell you, I am glad. I am not a fan of anything. I'm glad I got a pass to get into anything I go to.
Yep.
Between concession prices
and
ticket prices, I don't know how the hell you're doing it, public. I don't know how you're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's you go to a Wolves game, a Wild game, a Viking game. If you go to a Viking game with 4 people, you're out $800-900, right?
Did you see the get-in prices right now for the Packers game on Sunday?
No,
like $700 starting right now.
Wow. This is when you're. We still got the Minnesota ticket holders who sell to the Packer fans. We started the campaign pleading with people not to sell their tickets to Packer fans.
I haven't seen that yet, but this is where people definitely sell their tickets.
As if that makes any difference at all. Right. It doesn't. The modern athlete, home and away, don't mean crap. They're so used to coming up and playing in exotic all-star games all over it does not mean as much as it used to. I think it still means something in basketball because you're in that confined little space, but it doesn't mean nearly as much as it used to in football, I don't think.
And I don't blame any fan who says, I can pay for my season tickets and Christmas through one game.
Yes. Yeah. I don't blame them either. No, it's for sure I would do that. So I talked to Alan Page this morning. I'm doing a column on the Mud Bowl. Mm-hmm. And Alan says, I can hardly remember that field being that bad, he says, because all the fields we played on back then were terrible. You know? He said, our place, when it got cold, it was like playing on rocks, he said, you know?
Uh-huh.
So he said and he's right, because you look at, he said, one of the best, the LA Coliseum was one of the best fields because it wasn't a baseball field. You know, it wasn't a two-sport field like most of them were.
Right.
I always see that picture of Joe Namath celebrating them going to the Super Bowl, and you look at the field they just got done playing on, and there's no grass anywhere. It's just.
The Met was a disaster.
The Met was a disaster, and of course now before the Mud Bowl they went to Tucson for 3 days. Which they used to do, Tucson or Tulsa, remember, Bud. But only because they couldn't. There'd been some snow that month. I look it up, like 8 inches or something. But otherwise, they'd practice by pulling the tarp back 25 yards and practice down there at the right field end of the place. And they'd go to Tucson, but they weren't. It was just I think just to get out of the weather, basically. But
Sure.
Plus, they were practicing what? 12 plays?
Yeah.
14 plays?
Yes.
And it's, they were practicing 13 guys on defense, maybe 13, 14. They had the same 11, and then once in a while they put in an extra back and a backup. Lurch would get in, a little backup.
Yeah, they didn't concern themselves with personnel packages, did they?
No, they were not. They just played, and the same guys were back next year too, because there was no free agency, there was no anything. So, a completely different game.
Oh yeah, the incredible one to watch is if you go back and watch. I think was it 69, 68, the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit at Tiger Stadium, where it's snowing, and
Yes.
that field looks like again nothing but mud.
Yeah, he said Tiger Stadium was probably the worst that
Okay.
they played on. It was terrible, but
Cleveland too
oh yeah, they were all baseball fields
in the 80s. When those
That's what makes Oakland so amazing. That
know.
the Oakland Coliseum until the Raiders
3 years
left again, had this crap. It was crappy in its heyday.
Yep.
And it had 2 teams. It is amazing the conditions in which you play now. And we were worried about the rain in Seattle. We had to practice with wet footballs. You're playing on turf. There's a mist falling.
Yep.
And back in the day, these guys are playing a muck up to their knees.
Absolutely.
It's incredible. He was just amazing. But I just kind of got inspired because it was right around Christmas time. Mm-hmm. It was the 26th because they didn't play on Christmas back then. You couldn't play on Christmas. They had 2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Monday. You couldn't play on Christmas. The Catholic Church wouldn't like it, and some others. But it's now we got double headers on Netflix on Christmas. So.
Oh yeah, now we don't
Incredible.
care anymore.
No. What do we think, ladies and gentlemen, how far are we, Judd, from having half the NFL games on a streaming service that you have to pay for?
Ooh.
How far away from having free TV be obsolete as far as that? More and more of your games are going to be on Amazon and Apple and Netflix, and more. Now they do get they're using that to blackmail more money out of the main networks because they can't. What was it? 97 out of the top 100 rated shows last year on
and the
network
advertising
TV.
on free TV is still so huge. Like that's
Yes.
why they keep it that way.
Yeah, I
But
suppose.
you're right. I mean, more and more it's going to go to streaming. They
Yes.
just got to find a way, I'm telling you, to make it so that I can channel flip with streaming.
Yes, that's
I can't take this.
No, that does drive you nuts. There's no doubt about it. I do prefer.
Christmas
I
Day,
do-
I want to flip between the Wolves and the football game, and right now
Yes.
I can't.
Mm-hmm. You got to go to another outlet, right?
Correct.
What? So what? You got what? You don't have cable. What do you got?
I have cable.
Oh, you still got cable, and
I have
you can't.
Xfinity, yeah.
So where do you have to go to get the Wolves then?
Well, I can get them on Channel 5, ABC on Christmas Day.
Okay.
But the Netflix, which I have, is streaming. So I got to go into Netflix, boot that up.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
It's not
to
part of
see
the
those
channel
games.
lineup.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Hey, what are What time do our Wolves play on Christmas Day?
1.
And they got the early game, second game. Who they got?
The Knicks are first.
Who
They're
they
at
got?
Dallas.
They're going to get their ass kicked. But do you remember when they first started having a Christmas game, and Kevin McHale got fined for refusing to fly into New York
No, I don't.
because he was going to be at Christmas Eve with his wife and kids.
Yeah.
So he got fined for, I don't know what it was, $2,000 or something. But Kevin refused to be. You got to be on site the night before the game, and Kevin came in. Plus I think it was Boston to New York. So I think the first Christmas games were like Knicks games, right?
Yeah, I think it was Knicks. Yeah,
But Kevin wouldn't go. The hell with it. He's a big believer in Christmas with the kids, so he wouldn't go.
When I was a kid, I think what it was, Pat, on CBS at the time was I think it was a Knicks game at like 11 or noon, and then a Lakers game, and that was it. Like you played 2 games. You didn't play. What's it? 5 now?
5, and the NBA, and they thought they had the day, but now the NFL is
Of course.
coming in and muscled them out of the way. So
Yeah, on Netflix.
Anyway.
That's the incredible thing.
Wonder who this person is calling me and then calling me again and then calling me again. I have a hunch.
Well, as long as it's not the wife, I wouldn't care too much.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. It's not her.
All right.
So
All right. Well,
I don't know what it is.
we can wrap things
What
up
else
here.
is going on? No, we're good. We're good. It wasn't her, but I just had it in my back pocket. It was disturbing my posterior there, the ringing.
I can't carry my phone in my back pocket. Dawn does that. I can't carry it back there.
Yeah, that's where I usually do it. What else is going on? What else are we missing here?
I don't think we're
How
missing
about
anything.
how about the Cleveland Guardians giving Carlos Santana $12 million
Yep.
because they were too cheap to keep Naylor? What?
And how
Why
about-
did they give away Naylor? They
And how
don't
about
have to pay him yet, I don't think.
Paul Goldschmidt going to the Yankees for 1 year, 12.5?
Yeah, he was. He had a bad year, but
I know.
and then
but
the Yankees. Who else? The Yankees. The Yankees got somebody else, some other veteran player yesterday. The game is talk about. There's only like 3 or 4 teams operating now. It's
yes.
they got issues. They got to do something.
Yes.
They're not. Oh, they did get what 300 and some million in luxury tax stuff this year. But if they weren't letting Ohtani cheat, they could have gotten more money than that. I haven't seen anything about them not letting the Dodgers get away with that. But our guys they're just gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do. They're not gonna do anything.
I think they're going to trade a couple of guys, trim the payroll down more, and be done with it.
Were you surprised Mackey got 10 from the Phillies? That's a good deal for him.
Yeah, it's a real good deal. I would have advised him among the top 3 places not to go for Max. Philadelphia would have been one of mine.
Well, you better show a little more fire there.
No, that's what I'm
They can get a little critical. Plus, they got 35,000 a night there, so
Correct.
They're watching you.
If Max was going to go east, I would have advised the Pirates.
Yes, that's right.
Just to be a Pirate.
Yeah,
Be a
well,
Pittsburgh Pirate.
it would feel like home too.
It would. Great stadium. They're not going to ride you too much. Philadelphia, they're looking. They're looking to ride you.
How about who's your first baseman here then? Eddie Julian?
Miranda, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Who's going to be left? That's my question. Are they going to trade one of those two? Are they going to trade Miranda?
Walner or Larnick or one of those guys? Or?
No, Julian or Miranda. Because they supposedly there's been speculation that they might shop Miranda.
He's not making any money yet, is he?
No. Nope.
I mean, he went in the tank, but I don't know if he was banged up or what it was. when you were good, he was good. When he was in the middle of the season,
Didn't
he can
homer
hit.
after July 1st, right?
He doesn't drive me nearly as crazy as Eddie taking strike three, and maybe Eddie's out of the picture too. I don't know. They're trying to get excited about this Rodriguez guy, the outfielder, but he's been hurt half his career already too. I don't know. Do they know how much trouble they're in? I guess if the Ishbia boys buy the team, there'll be a renewed enthusiasm. So
Yeah, I would guess that when they announce what the price of the streaming package is for their TV games and they get almost nothing, they will soon come to the realization that they're in a lot of trouble.
what do you think they're going to try to get 30 a month or something?
20, 25 a month, yeah. But what's the incentive?
You can't. Yeah, that's true. But you can't go less than that. I mean, you gotta charge that and see if you can get any business.
And what are ticket sales like? I mean, what are season ticket sales like? Suite sales.
Yeah, the other thing is, a lot
Corporate.
of sweet renewals and stuff. A lot of competition for those, as far as that money's concerned. I don't know. It's could be. Let's just face it. The atmosphere was a little better at this time a year ago because they hadn't told us about a right size. When did they tell us about the right size payroll? January?
Might have been closer
January?
to spring. No, I think they alluded to it going down, but I don't think we got right sizing until spring training, right?
They're like
I
hiding
looked it
right
up
now.
at one point.
They're like hiding right now. The winter meetings. Going to make a few calls. Unbelievable.
The double talk is so great.
Yeah. Derek, I had hope for Derek there for a couple of years. He got a little better, but boy, ever since the Levine performance, when he tried to talk about Thad Levine, a 50-year-old man, getting ready to explore his options, and
Yeah.
that was bad. I don't know. They're in trouble.
Yeah,
They're in trouble.
But
But
a lot of trouble.
it is amazing, though. They get $1.4 billion or something. I don't get it. What are these guys? What are these private equity guys? They just don't give a damn. It's just money. They don't care.
Got enough. Yeah.
They get their name on it. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It sounds like the
Eagle.
people I've talked to over there, and I haven't been grilling anybody, but the people over there sounds like these guys have been sniffing around for a while and talking to a lot of people. So, anyway.
As you
Alrighty.
said, at least it would create some excitement. All right,
Yeah.
we done?
Yeah, we're good. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that good stuff. You guys are working a full time next week?
I believe so, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, that's good. That's good. And we got a couple of appointments with the grandkids, so that's good. We're fitting in a little time.
Enjoy. I'm sure the grandkids.
The granddaughter
Yep.
went out yesterday and shot her first two pheasants, airborne, and
Really?
not airborne, not out the car window like her grandpa used to do down in Murray County. So she killed them in flight, I guess. So
No kidding.
and probably cleaned them too, because she's been known to help de-gut a deer when somebody else shot it too. So she's
Wow.
becoming an outdoor person. It's amazing.
That's outstanding. That's
Yes.
great. All right,
All righty, sir.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.